You know, if Eric Bischoff is turning heel at Bound for Glory like most people are expecting him to, it's going to be the most telegraphed heel turn I've ever seen in wrestling. They're not even trying to be subtle about this. The only way this would be a surprise now is if he doesn't turn heel and all the teases they've been throwing out there have all been some big elaborate red herring. But that's probably giving the writers more credit than they deserve at this point.
And now Jarrett coming out. Well, Jarrett. TNA fans here in Daytona just incensed at what they've witnessed. Pelting the ring with garbage. Pelting the ring with trash. I don't believe what we've witnessed from Jeff Hardy. We hear all this crap about Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy being a role model. Role model my ass.
Let's do this. Lest I come off like a hater, I'll mention a few good things first. The Bound for Glory set was awesome, and that was probably the best pay-per-view set TNA's ever come up with. Usually they're pretty cheap looking. Not this time. That set was great. I think they were in HD too, which probably helped. Also, they had a good-sized crowd, and that crowd was hot for everything. Everything except Orlando Jordan. They loved Eric Young, but when he came out to Orlando Jordan's music, crickets. So let's get to the show. I'm not going to cover them just yet. I'm going to build up to that one. Motor City Machine Guns versus Gen Me for the tag team titles. I have to say, I am really sick and tired of the Motor City Machine Guns being stuck in the obligatory curtain jerker pop the crowd at 8 p.m. spot. They won the tag titles. They got put over in a huge way against Beer Money in a feud the announcers are still talking about. They should be above this by now. They've been elevated. They belong higher on the card, or at the very least, the tag team title match belongs higher on the card. Great match. We all knew it would be a great match. That goes without saying. I mean, I'd say definitely the match of the night. But I think TNA did these guys a big disservice by having them do an Ultimate X match so soon. Gen Me debuted in January. They had one match with the Guns, and then they had an Ultimate X match, when it didn't really mean anything. If they had saved that for this pay-per-view, it would have meant something. But since they've already had the most insane match the X Division guys can possibly have, it didn't really leave too many places for this feud to go unless you find different situations to put them in. Now, making Gen Me heels was a good start, but if this feud is going to pick up again in the future at some point, they need to take it further. That's why I really think Gen Me need a manager. I'm telling you, TNA, sign Jennifer Blake, make her their sister. I think it would work. Having said all that, I am glad this match was not an Ultimate X, because TNA's had way too many of those this year, and the Guns have been in most of them. Enough with the Ultimate X for a while. Knockouts title match, Madison Rayne versus Tara versus Velvet Sky versus Angelina Love. I'll admit, this was better than the typical Beautiful People match, but it was still a Beautiful People match, and I'm sick and tired of those. Tara wins. Really don't agree with that. She's been Madison Rayne's bitch for months, and Madison is being buried herself right now, but they really didn't have too many options here, and she's only keeping that belt warm for Mickey anyway. We all know that. Tara versus Mickey could be a decent feud, and I expect Velvet and Angelina will probably go for the tag titles now. That's fine. All things considered, I'm very happy Velvet Sky or Madison Rayne did not win the title here. Inc. versus Orlando Jordan and Eric Young. Really, it's not even worth talking about this one. Just a stupid comedy piss break match. Although I will say I very much appreciated EY making Orlando Jordan look like a complete jackass. Aside from that, nothing to see here, folks. Team 3D's big announcement is that they're retiring. But apparently they've re-signed with the company. That's what I heard. So I don't know what's going on here exactly. Maybe they're retiring as on-air performers? I really hope this is not a swerve. I hope they have that last match where they put over the Motor City Machine Guns and then take backstage roles. If that's the case, then Team 3D, congratulations on an amazing career. Thank you for bowing out before you destroyed your legacy. Thank you for doing the right thing for business. If that's not the case, if this is a swerve, if it's a prelude to 3D breaking up and starting singles careers, then I don't like it. so I guess we'll see. Doug Williams versus Jay Lethal for the X Division title. Really good match, but it was too short. I think it only got about 8 minutes. This really needed more time. I have no idea why they gave away the title change on free TV weeks ago. This match really would have meant a lot more if they'd saved the title change for this pay-per-view instead of just doing the rematch here. But still, a great match with a really cool finish. The Shore attacking Lethal afterward, I don't like it. I will concede that the gimmick is getting a lot of heat. Right now, I'm not sure yet if it's heel heat or get the fuck off my TV X-Pac heat, but people are responding to it, and I saw these two at the indie show last week. Robbie had a fairly decent match with Carlito, so I'll give these two a shot. If Robbie delivers in the ring, if the gimmick gets over, I'll give it a shot. I may not like it, but if it works, I'll put up with it. Rob Van Dam versus Abyss, Monsters Ball. Another great match. There were some pretty brutal spots here. I love the rolling thunder over the ropes through the table. That was awesome. I mean, Abyss even took a shot from Janice, which I couldn't believe. I mean, until now, I thought Janice was a really stupid weapon because there's no way they could ever use it on someone, or so I thought. But goddamn, I mean, they did it. And Van Dam took some nasty bumps here too, like going off the turnbuckle through the barbed wire board. These guys get an A for effort. That was a pretty sick match. Do I agree with Van Dam going over? No. I would have had Abyss go over, but that's just me. Sting, Nash, and Pope versus Jeff Jarrett and Samoa Joe. I can sum this up in 3 words. Fuck Kevin Nash. This guy, this 50-year-old has-been, his contract is up. He's tweeting that he's leaving the company after this show. You can't even have him put someone over on his way out the fucking door. If Samoa Joe absolutely had to do the job here, then it should have been Pope who pinned him. At least that would have done something for someone. But this? What the fuck did this do for anybody? And it wasn't even a good match either because Sting and Nash suck. Fuck this match. Lethal Lockdown. Fortune versus EV2. What? Ugh. What does putting over EV2 here accomplish? Aside from sending the live crowd home somewhat happy, what did this do for you? What does it do for your future? Fortune is your present and your future. EV2 is a nostalgia trip whose novelty wore off pretty quickly. Now granted, Fortune won nearly every match in this feud, and EV2's victory was kind of tainted because Kendrick had to help him out, but in the grand scheme of things, you really set yourselves back here. Most of EV2 were rumored to be gone from the company pretty soon. I mean, hell, Rhino got released right after this pay-per-view. Botches aside, it was a fun match, but if this feud was going to end with EV2 going over, it probably shouldn't have been done in the first place. Kurt Angle, Ken Anderson, Jeff Hardy for the world title. Minus that one weird botch, this was a great match, but that's not what we're here to talk about, obviously, because it wouldn't be a TNA pay-per-view main event without a screwy finish. So Bischoff, Hogan, and Jarrett are them. Pretty much the entire internet was predicting this for months, and Bischoff had been teased about 1,000,000 times. Hogan and Jarrett were question marks, but you knew it had to be at least one of them. And when Dixie wanted Abyss fired last week, that was the clincher. Obviously, they weren't going to fire Abyss, so either Bischoff or Hogan were going to have to turn heel to put a stop to that. This was pretty much worst case scenario, because out of all the innumerable ways they could have resolved this they angle, the writers chose the most predictable way imaginable. TNA had been hyping they for so long that there was no way this was not going to be anticlimactic. The question is, how anticlimactic was it? And that mostly depends on how you felt about the Jeff Hardy thing. Now for me, the Jeff Hardy heel turn partially saved this from being a complete waste of time. And I don't even like Jeff Hardy, but I will admit I did not see this one coming. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if Jeff has ever worked as a heel before. Maybe when he first debuted in WWE, I can't really remember. But he's pretty much always been a babyface, mostly because he was so over as a babyface that turning him heel would have been stupid. And I'm not saying this wasn't stupid, it was. But it was also unexpected, and this angle desperately needed something unexpected, so I didn't like it. But I'm willing to at least listen to the explanation, provided it's a damn good explanation, which I'm sure it won't be. But one question really springs to mind here. If Sting knew this was going to happen for like 8 months, why the hell didn't he do anything about it? Instead of just sitting down with Dixie Carter and calmly and rationally explaining everything to her about this plot to take over her company, I'm going to act as heelish as I possibly can so no one will trust me when I say there's something bad going down. Well, thanks a fucking lot, Sting. What the hell did you think that was going to accomplish? So congratulations, TNA. It's 2010, and in one show, you managed to put ECW over your own fucking company. You jobbed out Samoa Joe to a 50-year-old man who's about to retire. Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and Jeff Jarrett are your top heels, and your new world champion is a guy on trial for drug trafficking. Well done. This fucking company, I swear to God.